What is going on, guys, my people of the Tomorrow's Filmmakers community? It is your boy, Colby Robinson. Let's talk about how exactly I learned the craft of filmmaking. Filmmaking is not just a simple task. It's not just grabbing a camera and going out there and just shooting whatever. When it comes to how exactly to take this craft and passion and maybe even calling of filmmaking and turning it into the career and lifestyle of film, I learned all this through Justice McCraney's Tomorrow's Filmmakers. And yes, I can't tell you how much this course has done to help me with my career. It's a simple beginning. It's a humble beginning of back in 2017 when I really started getting passionate about filmmaking. I was doing, the YouTube University of going through all these YouTube videos, trying to find just videos of composition, lighting, using a DSLR, getting through all the basics. There's so many YouTube videos that, you could definitely learn over time. But I eventually came across Justice's videos. It was some sample videos that was on his YouTube channel. That's where I went to the details in the description, and I found out that it was an online Christian film academy. And as a sophomore of high school, it was pretty interesting because going into it, starting to realize that it was probably something more than just a hobby I had and something I really wanted to get into. So I went and got the lifetime membership, and like I said, that's just a simple story. From that point forward, I went through all the courses, basically learned everything about the filmmaking process, and eventually, that's where 2018, 19, I started taking these skills, applying it to what you can see on my YouTube channel, link in the description below if you're watching us on YouTube. It grew to not only the skill set side, but even the academy itself grew into these industry-made courses with all these different professionally, high-end professionals in the Christian film industry. So, yeah, that's enough about me. Let's get right to the actual course itself. Well, let me tell you this. For someone who started off, let's see, 2021. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I paid 3 times the price for this course. 3 times the price of the $97 right now. And back then, there wasn't even as much content as it is right now. Back then, there was skill set, but now it's matured to prepare you for not even just how to make a good film, but how to be a good filmmaker, even when you're talking about the high-end studio-based industry. We're talking Kendrick Brothers, The Chosen, the Erwin Brothers on that level. And you're telling me that the price cut down to $97 for basically learning the key of getting into the industry. Whew. I'm telling you, it is a much more of a bargain to you guys than what it was for me when I got it. Y'all got it good. Unless you're a seasoned filmmaker, you probably wouldn't know of Peter Walbeck's FullTime Filmmaker. That's probably the other most popular online film academy out there. Now, why am I bringing up that film academy? Well, for the biggest difference between what you'll get from that premiere one versus what Tomorrow's Filmmakers also has, but even a little bit more. Before I get to everything, let me say that I have not gone through all the courses yet. I'm not a member of a FullTime Filmmaker. I plan on doing it in the future. For example, FullTime Filmmaker, it's in the title. From what I've seen, a lot of FullTime Filmmaking's courses, I notice tend to revolve around freelancing. Yes, I do see that they talk about product and wedding and real estate and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, that's amazing to go into like freelance filmmaking, being your own filmmaker, doing your own thing. What makes Tomorrow's Filmmakers different is, first of all, it's a Christian-based education. So how to further God's kingdom into filmmaking that you're doing. On top of that, it has people such as Bruce Marciano, Christopher Kimlin, Dallas Jenkins. It is amazing to see that you have all these professionals in the actual studio-based industry with insight. And that's exciting because that will help you as you get onto professional cinematic sets, as I would say. That was definitely probably the biggest exciting moment for me when I first even heard about the cinema courses. That was the most exciting part. That is probably something you should definitely look into the most if you want to get into these higher end studio projects. It has done amazing in teaching me these skill sets, not only as a filmmaker going through the whole process, but it also has introduced me to the professional studio-based film industry. This is actually a piece of advice. This is from my firsthand experience to you guys. This entire industry runs on one thing that basically makes or breaks your career, and that is networking. If you know how to network, that will set you apart from everybody else. When you think networking, you're probably thinking business related, but I actually want to go ahead and actually go in a bit more into detail to encourage you to get connected and get to know people in the industry and even make some friends. The best stories I have are Barrett Kaufman, who taught the color grading course. I had the privilege of being able to chat with him for a bit. We've done a handful of video calls together because I got so curious about color grading, and I learned so much about the skill set of coloring, even a little bit on the business side of how to really get into it. Now, I'm a colorist. I actually am doing color work for some clients because of the insight and advice I've got learning from Barrett Kaufman. Same thing with Christopher Kimlin. Big name. He's been the cinematographer for all the Erwin Brother movies. So if you've seen Woodlawn, I Can Only Imagine, and I Still Believe. Oh man, I love I Still Believe. That's probably my favorite one. He's the cinematographer of that. He actually, in his course, he goes through all the shot lists and all the planning of how he shot I Still Believe. That's amazing. I mean, there's really no other place you can get that. And from the advice and stuff that I've learned through being able to talk with Chris, I actually, not too long ago, landed a gig helping out with the film over in Atlanta. The biggest connection, and this is why I emphasize to really get connected with networking. Joseph Santoyo, who taught the audio course in Tomorrow's Filmmakers. Please check that out, because this guy has worked on Overcomer, and he's worked on season 2 of The Chosen. This guy, if you want to think about like top Christian films, this guy has actually done the boom operation for those big projects. I reached out to him one day through Tomorrow's Filmmakers. I live in the state of Georgia. He happened to be in the state of Georgia for a project that may or may not involve the Kendricks. I got the chance over the weekend to spend some time with some of the crew and get to know them, get to know what it was like on the set. For those of you who either are members or if you're not and you're curious about the industry, even want to get connected, you can reach out to me exclusively. Here's my email. I hope all that helps you out and teaches you about Tomorrow's Filmmakers, and I hope to see you out on the field.